You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Mary Mary After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Mary Mary After Show.
That's the song. That's how we do it. Well, Bing is for doing, and we are doing yet again the AFTERBUZZ TV Mary Mary After Show. Thank you so much for being with us. My name is Tara Johnson, and I'm happy to be here today. And I have with me today the lovely...
Hey, I'm grooving.
She needs a minute.
I do. I needed a minute. I love that song. I'm Ashida Onrae.
And thank you, Ashida, for being here.
Yes, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, she needed a moment. We
Just
get
needed
it.
a moment.
Mary Mary songs, they just do that
They
to
just
you.
do
Take
pray.
it to another place.
Yes.
Well, before we even get started, we want to say thank you to everyone who's been communicating with us on Twitter, our own personal Twitter accounts, and the Twitter account for the show, which is Mary Mary After, AFT Show, SHOW. And we just wanted to take a time out to just shout out someone who's been really supportive, and we appreciate it on Twitter. His name is Kendall Triplett.
Yes.
You can find, that's his name, this is Twitter handle also. He's an aspiring gospel artist. So we want you guys to check out his new tune. It's on iTunes. It's called You Can Do Anything. I've downloaded it. I think it sounds great.
Yes, I listened to it. I got the tweet at 6 in the morning. He sent it to me the night before, but by the time I woke up, it was around 6 o'clock. And I listened to it at 6 a.m. And I tweeted him back saying that I had praise.
There you go.
At 6 a.m. in the morning.
So let's just, let's all be supportive in the Mary Mary family, and let's support Kendall. So big ups to you. Big ups to you. We also want to say thank you to Manager Mitch. We all love Manager Mitch Soleric so much. He also shouted us out on Twitter saying thanks so much for doing a great job and keeping everyone updated. And we're going to keep doing what we do, Mitch, because we love doing it.
Yes. We love it.
We absolutely love it. So, we still would love it if you came in to AFTERBUZZ.
Yes.
And brought the ladies of Mary
Mitch.
Mary. So come on and have a seat. We could definitely, do what we do best.
Right.
So today we're talking about Season 2, Episode 8, Solo Opportunity. And I guess the best thing to do is to talk about the solo opportunity that's on the table.
Yes.
Mitch calls up Erica and says, "How sweet the sound," which is really, I would probably say it's the biggest gospel choir competition. It tours around the country. I know it probably does between 12, 15, maybe 20 cities on tour annually. Donald Lawrence is the host. They have a slew of people coming in as judges and performers, and they're asking Erica, not Mary Mary,
Right.
Erica Campbell, to come and not only judge, but also perform solo. You could tell she was a little shaken.
Yes, she was, and rightfully so, because it's not just Mary Mary, it's her sister.
Right.
So I can understand why she, is a little nervous about doing it. But the question is, when does she talk?
There you go.
To her sister, outside of the Mary Mary brand, just because I think she's more nervous, more of not just the Mary Mary, but her sister. And it's like, okay, I need to talk to her as a sister.
Right.
Just to make sure, we're on the same page and she doesn't think that I'm just leaving the group.
And I think that's called for because over the past 2 seasons, we've seen these tense moments between these sisters where Erica said, I just can't continue to do this the way it's going. And at the end of, if I'm not mistaken, Season 1, they actually sit down with a therapist and have this conversation saying, I don't know how much longer I can continue to do this. So it's kind of out there, but every time it's been out there as a point of discussion, it's always ended on a negative note.
Right.
And so that's what she doesn't want to happen.
Well, it's kind of hard because I understand where each, Erica and Tina is coming from. One wants to do more work and one wants to stay home with the family a little bit more. And I understand that. You have a husband, you have kids, you're working a lot, and it comes a time where you want to say, you know what, I really want to spend time with my family. And then the other, one is like, well, I'm ready to, to hit the road. I'm ready to do the do.
Absolutely.
And so there's a conflict there. And I can understand each side. And it's hard because when you have that burning desire to do one or the other, you can't sway the other person. I really want to be home with my family. I really want to, have more opportunities. It's hard.
Right. And there's no right or wrong answer.
Exactly.
And I think the difference here is last season when Erica was pregnant, she had the baby and was back to work in 3 weeks.
Right.
And it seems as if Tina wants to take a maternity leave where she is not working for a set period of time. So that's the difference between the two of them.
Right.
I know a lot of people on Twitter and on these fan pages have accused Erica of being selfish, saying Tina never thought about going solo after she had her baby. But the difference is, Tina is taking a maternity leave.
Right, which she's entitled to do.
Absolutely, she's entitled to do. So she's entitled to take this maternity leave. Erica chose not to and wanted to continue working. So there really is going to be this break, this period of time where unless Erica does something solo, they're both really taking a maternity leave, and that's just not what she wants.
Right. I'm agreeing with Erica on taking the meeting to see what it's about, to see if you even want to do it. And then once you figure out, okay, this is something that I'm interested in, now the reality sets in and you have to deal with the reality of the conversation. So it's not just the reality of Erica, but it's the reality of Tina saying, okay, this is really happening. Right. And then how they're going to deal with it.
Totally. It's all about how they're going to deal with it. It's not only what you say, but it's totally how you say it. And I'm a little worried. I mean, I have a sister. She and I are very close. And I was trying to think if my sister and I were in the same situation, if I would have done things differently than Erica being as the timing of the conversation. Because I would never want my sister to think, I've kind of cut this deal, decided on this deal, talked to other people without talking to her. So it's a very different and delicate thing. And I know Erica's concerned about speaking with her.
Right.
And Mitch volunteered to speak with her, and she was like, no, it definitely needs to be me.
Definitely, because I can see Tina going off on just Mitch talking to her.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I would too if I'm in a group with my sister and you have our manager talk to us, and they're sisters. They seem as if they talk every single day.
Right.
If they don't see each other every single day, so that would be a little weird. So, no, Mitch, this is my initial conversation, and even still talking to her husband, I get that. But as she was saying at the end of the episode, I have to talk to her. It has to be soon.
Right. Right. And it's how she delivers it. Even if she did have a meeting with them, she can, say, well, yes, I did have a meeting just to see what it was about, but you were on my mind constantly. And I want to be able to tell you everything. And it's not just me performing by myself. It's me being a judge. But I also am concerned and want to know your thoughts that we're not breaking up. I don't want it to go out there just because I'm on the show by myself that Mary Mary is breaking up.
Right.
So if we can collaborate, like, hey, she's on maternity leave, we're not breaking up, it's okay, then that can help with the conversation with them.
And I guess the question I have is, and I wish they would have said it on the show, what I wanted to know was the initial invitation Mary Mary? And then given the time frame at which they were going to tour, because of the fact that Tina was going on maternity leave, then they said, okay, well, Erica, we still want you to come on the show. Or was the initial invitation always Erica?
That's a good question. That's a Mitch question.
Mitch. It's the second time we've asking you to call on in and come on by. No, it's just an interesting, thing.
Right.
Because I'm always doing research and that type of thing.
Right.
And except for the show, it was the first I'd heard of her like definitely taking a maternity leave. I guess it was always up in the air, that kind of thing. But it's just an interesting question to ask. Again, not trying to cause more controversy, just really asking the question.
Or maybe they just thought because she was pregnant, we can just ask, Erica.
Ask Erica. Either way, Erica did do How Sweet the Sound. And I read a review of her performance and the entire concert performance. I think the winning choir won, I think maybe 5 or 10 grand. I think maybe the winning choir won 10 grand. The runner-up won 5 grand. And it seems as if Erica, when they did a show here in LA, she actually did a solo rendition of Yesterday. Because I know they talked about in the show doing another song or an old classical hymn, which I would love to hear either one of them sing either together or separately.
Right.
But it seems as if when she was here in California, she did Yesterday. So I'm not sure if she did a different song in every single city, but she did do How Sweet the Sound. We'll find out how the conversation went down.
I'm looking forward to that.
Next week.
Oh, it's going to be good.
Well, a lot of conversations happened in this episode.
It did.
Just for one, comic relief, what did you think of I Am Boom Cack, Laurie Gibson, who we love oh so dearly?
I love Lori.
Right? And Gugu going shopping for Mary Mary and their outfits for Essence Festival.
Right. You know what? I was cracking up when she said, "What about this with no bra?"
No, right.
And I'm sitting there like, Lori.
Well, I saw some of we talked about their stellar performance at the Stellars. And they weren't jumping up and down and doing cartwheels, but even that performance would have been difficult without the supports, as we call them.
Yes. That's unchurched. I love that word.
As Google, she might not be churched.
I'm churched.
But do you think for the Essence Festival? Essence Festival, as we said before, is in New Orleans. It's put on by Essence Magazine, which is a female urban magazine. I'm quite familiar with Mary Mary. I'm sure tons of Mary Mary fans. And they know exactly with Mary Mary being a contemporary gospel group. Does Mary Mary have to go completely mainstream in their outfits for this concert? Mind you, it is in New Orleans. It's 2,050 degrees in July.
Right, 2,050 degrees. I love that.
But do they have to go mainstream for this performance?
I mean, they can loosen it up a little bit. I mean, you don't have to be churched all the time. I can understand being churched in church. But you can, you can still be sexy and be unchurched. I'm just trying to stay on the word, you know.
I think Mary Mary always strives for relevant, attractive, but I guess as conservative as they can be, still being themselves.
Well, look at Mrs. Obama.
Yes.
I mean,
perfect example.
Perfect. That's the perfect example, and she shows her arms all day.
She does. She has fantastic arms.
Fantastic
I do push-ups every day. Going, Michelle. I'm trying to get there, girl.
But the thing is, she's elegant, she's sophisticated, and she's beautiful.
Right.
But she's stylish. You don't always have to be covered up all the time. And I understand gospel, being churched, and I get that. Maybe a little bit too far with Lorianne saying, no bra.
Lorianne.
Yeah, that's a little too much.
Back all out, no bra.
Right. With some, what was that?
I think she said Tanner.
Tanner on the...
What was that, Lorianne?
I don't know what was going on with Lorianne that day.
But that's a good example, Michelle Obama.
Yes.
And no one has ever accused Michelle Obama of being overexposed or showing too much skin.
Right.
But she's always been appropriate, always been a trendsetter in fashion, and always gorgeous, right on point.
Love her.
There you go. That's a good one. That's a good example.
I'm all for change.
Right.
And I'm all for dressing for the occasion, but you don't always have to be covered up.
That's true.
Churched.
I love that word.
I do. I never heard of that word. I've been churched. I've never heard that word. That's fascinating.
But Lorianne says she's going to get that hemline above the knees if it kills her. So, speaking of Gugu, she has a conversation with her sisters. And this is another work conversation. And I mean, I felt for Gugu here because she came to her sisters. She walked in the door as their stylist. She sat down on the couch and they said, "What's wrong with you?" She said, "Oh, Justin's really frustrated that I don't have time to do anything, with him." And I think that was the sister point. And then the rest of the conversation with Eric and Tina kind of went back and forth between sister and and group, sister and artist back and forth. It was all Justin. It all came at her. And I was just like, whoa, I really would love this issue, not to be resolved because it is what it is. This is reality television. This is their real life.
Right.
Sometimes it takes things to evolve. But I would go with Erica's suggestion. She said in the show, Tina should back off, because if not, Google's going to get packing.
Now, here's my analogy on this,
Okay.
and here's my thoughts. I'm actually for Erica and Tina on what they're telling Google, and I think Google is being resistant, but I think deep down inside, Google knows they're right.
I would have to agree with you.
I think she, I think she wants to prove them wrong. And so by going to Atlanta, and being able to still have her career and still be in love, I think that's what she's going through right now.
Right.
I want to prove you guys wrong.
And that's a dangerous place.
Yes.
I mean, I've been in one of those kind of places in relationships where everyone's telling you, no, 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 don't be with this person, that you just get it in your mind. I know what's best for me. I'm going to be with this person regardless. And it's kind of the two of us against the world. And it can become a very dangerous place.
Right, but here's the ironic part. They're not telling her not to be with Justin.
They've never said that.
They never said that. They said for Justin to move out here.
True.
And, I get the tradition of all the men move out for their women. I understand that, but I think that at least he can come out and make an effort because he is the man,
right.
But then he has his business and she has her business. So what could she do? Because they're not giving her a solution.
That's true.
They're giving her, you don't do this, don't do that, this is wrong, you're not making any sense, but they're not offering her a solution, some kind of medium for both of them. And that may help them where, oh, okay, I didn't think about that. That will prevent me from jumping ship to Atlanta, and that would prevent him from coming to LA. But maybe they can find some kind of medium. But what kind of medium could you find?
I don't know. It's very, very hard because if we go with the way Tina painted it, you're going to be in Atlanta. Your career is going to shift.
Right. You're going to be miserable.
You're going to be miserable out there by yourself in Justin land.
Right.
Just sitting next to him at church looking pretty.
Right.
Tina, I have to say, you have some of the best descriptions and analogies and a way of breaking it down like I never would think. But she did. She's like, you're just out there by yourself. None of us will be around, and you'll just be in Justin land by yourself.
By yourself. But here's the thing. I have two friends that they met online, and they had a long distance relationship. And they made it work for a year and a half. But what they did was she came out for a month, and then he went out for a month. Now, their careers allow them to do that. Now, I'm thinking that maybe Gugu's career can allow her to do that. She will travel back and forth a lot more. But if that's the sacrifice that you can take, that you want to take to say, okay, let me see what it is like to see him every day. Let me see what it's like for him to wake up in the morning, for him to come home grumpy when the day is not going good, for me to see how many times he leaves the toilet seat up and if I can handle it.
Don't do that.
To see how his to see how his communication skills are. But you have to take that risk. Instead of just packing up everything, just, go down there and then test the waters and see. And then maybe that will take Erica and Tina to be like, okay, all right. Maybe they'll ease up a little bit.
That's a fantastic point. And even remember when Elena and Desmond Jameson were here, they said the same thing for them. When they first got together, it was long distance for the first year, I think maybe year and a half. But Des said he would come out for, every other week. He used all of his vacation time for the entire year, coming to LA, making her feel comfortable, making his family feel comfortable. So I think you're right with these kind of long distance things. Someone, if not both people, have to make those sacrifices to get that FaceTime in. And it's not just for the family to make the family feel more comfortable. It's for the two of you to truly get to know each other. Right.
And if you have a career where you're not a 9-to-5, then maybe you can do that. And then you just need to have time management skills around your schedule of Tina. So that you can do that. Because people do it all the time.
No, people do it all the time.
Yeah.
I think that's a great... See, we're all about solutions
We're all about solutions here.
On AfterBuzz.
Yes.
And if you want to offer a solution, feel free to give us a call. The number is 424-256-1729. We'd love to hear your opinion.
I would love to hear
on everything.
Yes.
And there's another way for you to give us your opinion. If you go to iTunes, please go to iTunes, download the Mary Mary podcast. We do 50-plus shows right now for AfterBuzz. I'm sure if you're watching it, we're doing it. So you can download those also. Download the podcast, subscribe, write comments, rate. We're hoping and working really hard for 5 stars. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. If you have questions for us, post them on iTunes. We're happy to answer them and talk with you. So whether you want to call us, 424-256-1729, you want to leave comments on YouTube or iTunes, we're watching, we're reading, and we're responding.
Absolutely.
All the time.
Yes.
So, fine. We've solved the Goo Justin
Okay, we
situation.
solved it.
We've solved that.
Let's go.
We're done.
We're done.
So let's do a little more celebrating. There was a special moment in the show when they had a Father's Day celebration.
Yes.
And I love the idea of getting everyone together and also celebrating the fathers with, presents and that kind of thing are, fantastic. But as my father would always say, those handmade cards that you would make are the most special.
Yes.
So to have each of the kids get up and give their words and their thanks to their fathers was just, those are the moments of this show that I love so much because it reminds me all the time that, yes, this is a reality program. We know how people feel about reality TV.
Right.
But this is a real, loving, not food throwing,
Right.
Jumping over tables. This is a real loving family. And I love to see everyone together and the kids with their words when they got up. That was,
Oh, munchkins.
they're so adorable.
Little sugars.
And I love their honesty on the show also because they revealed on the show that their parents have been married and divorced 3 times, and now their father's dating someone else. That's a sensitive piece of information. And Erica was saying, we don't really know what to do with that, but we're here to celebrate him today as our father. She said in her speech, everything didn't work out the way we wanted to, but you're still our father.
Right.
And we celebrate you. And that's a tough moment, and that's some honesty from real people that you don't always see on these type of shows, which I think sets this show apart.
I have to agree with you. That was very vulnerable for them to even show that aspect of it. And for the fact that they look at their father in a non-judgmental way.
Absolutely.
And the mom, So I agree with you. I loved it. I love seeing family come together. I'm all about that. Even in the midst of a little bit of drama, situations that are going on. But I loved it. I did. And I love the speeches of the daughters.
Thank you so much for taking care of me.
Yes, and then also they made a mention too, saying that fathers are not celebrated as much as women on Mother's Day.
That is true.
So they really went out and made it very special for the dads, which is huge.
And I agree with that.
Yes, I do too.
And she even said there are some good fathers in this family that deserve to be celebrated.
Yes.
I love that fact, and I 100% agree. I think mothers are important. Mothers are great and grand. That's why everyone always says, hey, Mom, whenever they win anything.
Right.
But fathers have some of the most important roles. And from what we can even see on the show, even though it's named Mary Mary, we have seen Warren and Teddy and their father, just be fantastic fathers. So you're right. Big ups to all the dads out there.
Yes.
We love you oh so much.
We do.
And it's not even Father's Day.
It's not even Father's Day.
We give a shout out. It's not even Father's Day.
Just being great men.
There you go.
Yeah.
They need to be celebrated.
They need to be celebrated.
Love it. So after the Father's Day celebration, Teddy has already said in the last episode, I will be going to Chicago.
I am Team Teddy.
I'm Team Teddy.
I am so Team
We should
Teddy.
get a T-shirt.
We should do that.
We should get a T-shirt.
Team Teddy.
Because there's 2 big performances left. I'm not going to say in the season, but I know there's 2 big performances coming up. Chicago, there's Gospel Fest, which I've attended Gospel Fest in Chicago. I know they've changed the venue, but when I went, it was outside. It was 10,000 plus people. It was fantastic, but it is exhausting. And it was in an amphitheater. So the artist was on one end, and it's just kind of a big lawn for other people. So as an artist, you really do have to work to make the people in the back feel as if they're part of the concert.
Right.
Fantastic concert. Every year, Chicago does a fantastic job of it. But the ladies of Mary Mary are going because Teddy said, I'm going, you can do this, but I'm policing you.
Right. I got my eye on you.
I got my eye on you.
I got my eye on you.
And he brought some reinforcements. He had his eye, his mother's eye, the kids' eyes. And I love how Mitch walks in the hotel and goes, oh my gosh, I didn't realize everybody was here. This is great.
Right.
And then in his confessional goes, this is not good.
Yeah, because they're always running late. Now you're going to run extra late because you got to pack up the family, you got to pack up the kids, you got to put them in their car seats. Yeah, it's just a lot going on to try to make it on time. Because he said, we don't get our check.
Right.
Mitch is about the money, and I'm not mad at him for that.
Hey, if someone said to me, Tara, if you're not on time, you don't get paid, I I'd be in trouble.
Right, because you and I know we have a legal background.
Yes.
So when contract is signed, that's binding.
That's binding.
Yes.
So, and they mean it. If you don't
Right.
get there on time, you're not getting your money. We had to drive through all those barricades to get our money.
Right.
I get that completely. So they finally get to Gospel Fest. And I loved when Tina was saying, you know, we have all this stuff going on. I have this whole chaotic life with, you know, my husband and my kids and his mom and all that kind of stuff. We got lost on the way over. But when we get to a performance, they don't care about that.
No.
They came to see Mary Mary.
Yes.
And they put on, from what we could see, a fantastic show. And she's still doing it 123%, 8 months pregnant.
8 months pregnant. I've had the luxury of seeing Mary Mary in concert back in 2000.
Okay.
And they were phenomenal then. And so I couldn't even imagine with all the new music and the songs, because I haven't seen them in concert in a while.
Right.
But watching them, it just brought back memories. I was on my feet, you know, and no one was pregnant.
Right.
And they was just doing their thing. So I know now that would probably just move me more.
Totally.
That she has the energy, the time, and the determination to say, I'm going to make it up on this stage, 8 months pregnant, and give you 120%. You're going to feel Jesus up in here.
They are seasoned
Yes.
professionals.
Yes.
12 years from where you saw them. I don't
Yes.
think I've seen them in 4 or 5 years myself. They have become mothers. They've had their trials, their tribulations. They now have new management. They have Boone Cack in their corner. I mean, like, I can only imagine what type of performance and praise, not just a performance,
Right.
real praise that they're giving. It was probably fantastic. They said they got caught up in the moment, had to come down from the stage to see the people. I think Tina said, I couldn't see the people enough.
Right.
So I had to go down. All the while, Teddy is watching you, girl. Now, is this the show that you want to be doing all this when your husband has his eye on you?
You know, she said it wasn't the best decision to make. She said it. She admitted it. You know what? It wasn't the best decision to make, but I had to do it.
Because
you're in the moment. You're feeling it. You're worship. You're praising God
Right.
in your song. So you're already feeling that. Then you got everybody, you know, all your fans praising with you. I mean, it's hard to not want to connect with them down there when you are
Right.
so high on the stage, but then when you go down there, it's a whole different emotion, I can assume.
Right.
You know, and she's just having a good time.
Just caught up in the moment.
Caught up in the moment. Like, oh, wait, I'm pregnant? I'm 8 months? I forgot.
And I totally love when she said, it humbles me, you know, at these kind of concerts, it humbles me to realize that what I've put out in the world makes people feel this way.
Yes.
So I can see how you get caught up in the moment and you just want to continue to connect with the people who've helped bring you so far. So they go down, like, on the ground with the people or whatever,
Right.
shaking hands and that kind of thing. She finally comes up to the stage. But the point that she made was, I don't want to make eye contact with my husband.
Right.
Because I'm sure he may give me the sign to slow
Right,
down or
right.
something. But she's like, so if
Yeah.
I don't look at him, I can act like I didn't see it.
Right. And if he says, well, did you see me? No, babe, I didn't see you. I was singing. I couldn't.
I didn't see
Right. Because he
you.
can be like, or bring it down a notch, you know, all those just a little bit, or cut it out, you know. But if you don't see it, you're not lying.
It's the
Babe,
language.
I'm singing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at, you know, the audience. I got, you know, things going on in my ear. I got to make sure I'm on point. I'm sorry, I didn't see. I'm sorry.
I didn't see you.
I didn't see you.
And he was hound dog policing, watching. Like, he had his eye on his wife, not criticizing, not thinking it was the wrong
Right.
thing, loved it.
Right.
Because he said before, when she said to him, I'm not going to tell you every time I'm hurting. If I was really, really hurting, I wouldn't have told you.
Yeah, see, you gotta watch what you say to your man. You know, okay, here's the thing. This is a little advice, and it's something that I learned personally. You have to watch what you say to your boo, your man, your husband, your fiance. Oh, thank you.
And thank you very much.
Thank you. You have to, you gotta be cautious with that.
Because
Now, that's
sometimes
what-
they listen.
I want to high five you on that.
Sometimes they
Sometimes
actually
they
listen.
Yes.
And he listened to that
He
one.
listened to it.
And was like, I don't trust her now.
Right.
Because he knows her. He said, I've been married to this woman 12 years, and she's just going to go and go and go and push and push and push. And as we were saying before, sometimes you need a Teddy in your life
You do.
to make you stop.
I need a Teddy in my life.
But there you go.
Because I know I can go and go and go, and I'm not even pregnant, just going out of just, determination, but you're exhausted, and then it gets to a point in your life where you say, you know what, I'm grown, I can do what I want to do, but at the same time, I'm grown enough to know when to listen to my man and take a seat.
And it's true. And and sometimes, Mom, I love you. Just like Tina was talking to her mom in the show, your mom can say stuff to you, your sisters can say things to you, but there's just sometimes when your man puts his foot down, now that's when you're going to listen.
Yes. Okay, boo.
Okay,
I got it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Love you.
You take it, you swallow it, because sometimes it's hard to swallow, but you just keep it moving. So you're right. She needs a Teddy at this time to make her slow down some.
Because do you feel like he's being nice right now? Do you feel like, I'm going to keep talking to you in this nice voice, in this nice, way, but you're going to make me put my foot down?
I think this may be, because we've had several guests from the show on, and all the other guests from the show are saying, I don't know why editing never cuts out this, or why they never add that. I think this is the time that editing might have gone in Teddy's favor, because I think he may have had more to say. They just didn't air it. And again, by no means am I saying that Teddy's being, abusive or being... No.
Yeah.
But I think their conversation went longer and happened more often than we've seen on the show.
Right.
Because, Tina's a headstrong woman.
She is. And it takes a extra headstrong man to handle someone like that.
It does. And they're partners.
Right.
And she respects it. I respect it. I think it's fantastic. So you're right. We do need a Teddy.
Yeah.
I said it before. I say it again. Teddy and Warren, I love you guys as their husbands. I think you're doing an amazing job. Write a book. People need, being a father, and especially with a couple like this, it takes a lot. It's a lot of balancing act. People need help. I'd read it.
I would too. School me.
Hey, clearly I need some schooling.
Right.
So after the concert is over, Tina continues. Well, she has Mitch grab her son TJ and take him to the trailer. He calls. Was that not hilarious?
Out.
Mitch was like, Tina does not like her kids to be photographed, so I'm treating him like Blanket Jackson, and I'm running him to the trailer.
Fell out laughing. That was the most, and see, that is a part of Mitch that I like, that humor.
That's true.
And if you just take it and make it humor, then you can just roll with it.
Right.
That was brilliant, Mitch. I love it. Blanket Jackson.
Yeah, it's not as if.
And had him covered like Blanket.
Really like Blanket.
Had his hand and,
Totally. and unlike other times when maybe they've asked him to do some things and he'll say, well, now I'm reduced to a DJ or whatever. Right. No. It's a part of it's a part of the job. It's what your artist needs at that time. Your artist says, I don't want my child photographed. You make sure everything in your power, the kid's not photographed. If that means you Blanket Jackson him, that's what you do.
That's what you do.
And as they're, running Blanket into the trailer, she's jumping on picnic tables. Right. Even still trying to give her all to her fans. It's to be commended. But it makes me, I know now she's had her child safe, healthy, but at the time, it just makes me nervous.
It makes me nervous too. I'm almost as nervous because I think, Tina has a little bit more control over if something happens and there's people around her. That makes me almost just as nervous as when Alicia Keys was on the piano and she was pregnant. Do you remember?
I do.
But
she slipped, right?
Yeah, but there was nobody really around her like there was Tina. So it was like, oh my God, she's on the piano, but I get it. You still want to be sexy. You still want to be like, I can do everything. I'm not handicapped per se.
Right.
It's like I can still do what I want to do.
And you still want to give it all.
But just be careful, extra careful. Let people know, hey, I'm going to step up.
True.
And they can help. But she just,
Erica did it. Right. Erica jumped on the table. I can do it too. I appreciate the fact that she wants to give her fans so much of herself when she's Mary Mary and they've come out probably from far and wide to see this concert.
Right.
And she is 8 months pregnant, so who knows, she is taking maternity leave, so she will be off the stage for a while.
Right.
So while I'm here, I'm going to give it my all.
Right. I'm just going to go out with a bang.
I'm going to go out with a bang. I can't be mad at that. But she did all that. Comes back to the hotel, and there's still one more question on the table. Teddy allowed the Chicago performance, but Essence is still up in the air.
Yes.
And he made that known to not only Tina, but to Mitch also.
Right.
When he tried to come and run interference.
Right, because it's my baby too.
And Mitch was like, she scaled it down?
Right.
I thought she was great.
Yeah. He's just like, no, I'm not hearing it.
Not hearing a word.
Not hearing it. Mm-mm.
Nothing you got to say.
And Tina's saying the same thing. My husband is not hearing you right now. He's not hearing you.
Right.
And rightfully so. I get it. You know, but I'm loving Teddy's stand on it.
Absolutely.
I'm loving it.
And not being swayed. I mean, Teddy's a professional.
Right.
He's been a musical director. He's on The Tonight Show as a drummer. You know, he has his own band. They played at the Troubadour this weekend. So he has his own band. He's a professional also, so he gets it.
Right.
He knows what it is to perform, and you have to go out there and be prepared and give it your all. So this is not as if this is a guy who sits in an office Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and is completely foreign to this world. He knows what it takes. He knows what it is and what you have to give, and he just has to make the tough call sometimes.
Sometimes you got to make the tough decision.
In private, as he told Mitch to leave the room.
Right, because Mitch thought, oh yeah, let's go talk outside. He was like, no, I was talking to Tina. Sorry, not you. No, it's not you.
No, this is not a business
He was
decision.
like, did I just get dismissed?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
But for a really good reason, though. It
Right.
wasn't as if he was doing it to be mean, because this isn't a business decision.
Right.
This is a family, Campbell, Tina, Teddy decision. I thought it was kind of nice a little bit about it. He wasn't rude.
No, he wasn't rude. He was very sexy with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, we just going to talk about this privately.
Right. See you later.
Close the door.
Yeah.
Click.
Bye.
Exactly. So it seems next week next week they're talking about being honored at the Essence Festival and performing. So I guess Teddy gives the go-ahead. But let's see what leads up to giving a thumbs up, because I think we still have some excitement and some discussions to be had.
Yes.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
But let's do a little news and gossip.
Okay.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Well, we've been speculating about it. There's been rumors about it, about Eric and Tina doing solo projects or breaking up or whatever. The future for Mary Mary. And last weekend there were the Stellar Awards. Fantastic performance, as we were saying before. But they chose the Stellar Awards when they were doing press there to actually tell everyone that, yes, it is true. Erica and Tina will be doing different things. Erica has a solo project in the works right now, and Tina shared that she's going to be doing some different stuff too. No details right now, but they will be doing some separate things. But they also commented and said that both sisters were very chatty and very excited about this. So change is on the horizon, but both sisters are on board with the change.
Okay.
They seem very excited. And they said Mary Mary isn't going anywhere. We aren't breaking up, and you will definitely hear more from Mary Mary in the future. This doesn't seem to be the result of any kind of dispute or disagreement. It's just both sisters are pleased and hopeful and just want to do something different.
Love it.
Erica's comment is saying, while we enjoy and appreciate, we look forward to being able to do some things that allow us to express ourselves individually. People sometimes call me Mary. They don't even know my name is Erica.
Funny.
That's funny.
That's really
After all
funny.
these years
After all
and
these
2
years,
seasons of shows, people still call her Mary. And I understand that, wanting to express yourself musically.
Right.
And she even said on the show with Warren, I have so much more I want to give to people that maybe it's time to do it.
Right.
The reporter asked if she would be working with her super producer husband, Warren Campbell, on her project, and she was like, of course.
Absolutely. I love teams.
Of course.
I love that. I love husband and wife teams working together.
I call them power couples.
Power couples, yes.
Nothing better than power couples.
I love that. I respect it. I love it. I adore it. And I think it's phenomenal that you can actually work, because that shows that's my best friend.
Absolutely.
That's my husband, my road dog, my pound.
Yep. It's an amazing thing.
Yes.
Write a book. Well, Mary Mary's had 2 books out. So maybe the next book is all 4 of them, or the couples do one.
How to work together.
How to work together, and play together.
Play together. That would be good.
It'd be
I'll
good.
read it.
Of course I'll read it.
I don't know where they are when I'm looking for them, but
That's a different show.
That's a whole different show.
That's a whole different thing. But let's get into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Ooh, we got some colors over here. I heard that.
Oh, I like it.
So next week's episode, we are coming down to the wire. If I'm not mistaken, we have 5 more episodes left in the season. So next week there seems to be Essence. What do you think is coming?
Well, my predictions is that Teddy is really going to watch Erica and just kind of really put the heat on her to tone it down a little bit.
Even more than she has been.
Even more than she has been, because she'll be 9 months. So she'll be bigger, it's heavier, you're more tired. I think that Erica is going to have the talk.
Yes.
And I don't think it's going to go well initially. I think it's going to be a little difficult, in my opinion.
Right.
And I think that Gugu and her boo-boo, I like that, Gugu and her boo-boo.
Yeah, boo-boo.
Yeah. I think that's going to cause a rift with Gugu and her sisters a little bit more, because now she's really focusing on the fact that she can't see her man and all this problems because, you know, he's not happy, and if he's not happy, I'm not happy, and I have to try to figure it out. So those are my 3 predictions.
That's hard stuff, though. I agree with you. I think Teddy is going to possibly, give the thumbs up, but it's going to be down to the wire. I mean, I can see Tina, Erica, and Mitch sitting there looking at him with like sweat coming from their brow, waiting for him to go thumbs up or thumbs down on Essence. Unfortunately, I think they're going to be late to Essence for that performance.
They're always late.
I know. and I want to see, I would love to see some more of the deciding process of what they're going to wear at Essence. Because we have a lot of different factors. We have the fact that Tina's pregnant. We have the fact that Erica's working out and looking fantabulous. Then we have the, we're trying to balance mainstream versus still being churched. I got your word.
You got my word, yeah.
Got your word. And then also, I think Warren, from the previews, Warren and Mitch are going to go another round.
Oh, that's right.
I'm not quite sure what the conversation will be, but I do like seeing 2 men have conversations, because we see a lot of the Atkins sisters, and we see how the Atkins sisters communicate, which I think is great. Men just communicate differently. That's always interesting to me as to how men communicate and then also resolve. So that conversation is going to be interesting to me.
Yes, I like how you put that. Communicate and resolve.
And resolve.
Based on men.
Based on men.
Because we know how women do it.
Absolutely.
Right, but men is different. It's very fascinating almost.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
And remember when Joy Star was here, Warren's sister, she said, my brother doesn't talk a lot.
Right.
So when he does speak, those are words that are really important, and you need to pay attention. So if he's having a sit down with Mitch, you might even get a pen and pencil.
Oh, well, let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
And Mitch might hold on another grudge.
Oh, Lord. Well, I am Tara Johnson, and as always, it's fantastic being here with you today. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at TJ Path to Passion.
And I'm Ashida Onrae, and you can find me on Twitter at Ashida Onrae.
And you can find the show, the Mary Mary After Show, on Twitter, as we said before, at Mary Mary AFT Show, SHOW. Until next Sunday, have a good one.
Have a good one.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.